This is our video for Wednesday, April 29th for pre-cal, and we are going to talk about factorials or factorial notation today. You're going to need your books open to page 558. Just kind of review the week. On Monday, we had our introduction to sequences. Tuesday, we talked about how to find the explicit formula for a particular sequence. Today, we're going to talk about factorials or factorial notation. Tomorrow we're going to talk about summation notation, and on Friday we're going to have a quiz over section 8.1. So factorials are kind of fun. Remember that factors are numbers, are things that are multiplied. And the notation for factorial is an exclamation mark. So we do have a little bit of English going on in our math today. And so when you see a number with an exclamation mark, that means that you want to take this number and multiply it by every number smaller than it down to 1. Now, the way they write the definition on page 558 is you'll notice it has the number 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1's times 2, 2 times 3, 3 times 4. And then it has dot, dot, dot until you get to the number n minus 1 times n. So that's kind of a confusing notation. So let's talk about if you have 5 factorial, that means that you are going to take the number 5 and multiply it by every number smaller than it until you get to 1. So I always like to start with the n, or the number that you have here, and just count down. Okay, this notation actually kind of goes in reverse. You can do it either way, but I always like to start here and go down. And you just want to multiply these together. So 5 times 4 is 20, and 20 times 6 would be 120. So 5 factorial means 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 is equal to 120. If you had 10 factorial, it would be 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And you could hand multiply all that together. Or you can use your handy dandy little calculator and type in the number 10 and go to math. And you got to go all the way over to probability. And there you see the exclamation mark. And so 10 factorial is going to take 10 times 9 times 8 times all the numbers smaller than it, and it's going to come out with 3628800. So that is 3,628,800. So you can use your calculator, but you've got to know what the calculator is doing as always. We can multiply factorials together. So 2 factorial times 4 factorial will be 2 times 1 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And so here we would have 2 times 4 is 8, times 3 is 24, 24 times 2 is 48. You can also divide 5 factorial over 3 factorial times 2 factorial. And these are actually kind of fun. 5 factorial is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1. And 2 factorial is 2 times 1. And remember, I've told you all year that in my elementary school, I was taught to cancel before I multiply. And it's very useful here. I can cancel out the 3, 2, 1 because they're both on the top and the bottom and they are factors. I can even cancel the 2 into the 4. And all I'm left with is 5 times 2, which is 10. All right. And let's turn to page 564. So 564. And if you look at number 69, you will see 12 factorial over 4 factorial times 8 factorial. And so again, we can write that out. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, so forth and so on, till you get down to 1. On the bottom, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 8 all the way down till you get to 1. So you can cancel out the 8 through the 1. And 4 times 3 is 12. And 2 goes into 10 5 times. And so you end up with 11 times 5 times 9, which is 495. Again, you could put all that in your calculator, but to me it's more fun to write it out and cancel. And you will have some problems like number 71, where you will need to write it out. And the directions are simplify the factorial. And so let's start with the denominator. The denominator is n times all the numbers smaller than it. So the next number smaller than n would be n minus 1. And the next one would be n minus 2, n minus 3, and it would keep going down until you got to 1. So you would take n and multiply it by the number smaller than it, n minus 1. And okay, so right here we have n plus 1. And we want to multiply it by the next number smaller than it, so we would subtract 1, and n plus 1 minus 1 is just n. And then the next number smaller is n minus 1. And you can basically just cancel everything except n plus 1. So again, kind of fun. You may have encountered some of these yesterday on your homework. If you look at number 61, they have, 61, not on your homework. Or you may have encountered some on your homework yesterday. But on number 61, they want us to write the first 5 terms of the sequence. So they're giving us the explicit formula. And they want the first 5 terms. So the first term would be 1 over 1 factorial. That would be 1 over 1, which is 1. Oh, and I forgot, very important. Whoever invented factorials decided that 0 factorial is equal to 1. I don't know why, but you need to know that 0 factorial is equal to 1. And that may help you with some of those problems, sequences yesterday. All right, let's go back to number 2 here. The second term would be 1 over 2 factorial. It's going to be 1/2. And the third term is 1 over 3 factorial. So 3 times 2 times 1 is 6. So I've got 1, 1/2, 1/6. The fourth term is 1 over 4 factorial. So 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 is 1 over 24. And the fifth is 1 over 5 factorial. And we had 5 factorial just a minute ago. And 5 factorial is equivalent to 120. And so our sequence is 1, 1/2, 1/6, 1/24, 1 over 120. And that just might help you with some of those problems from yesterday. All right. So for today, on page 564, I want you to work 62, the even 62 through 74. Remember that we have Zoom every day at 10 o'clock. And on Friday, we will have a quiz over section 8.1.